Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Akram and my member code is 25209. I am from Halka, Brampton, Lakeview. The human body is absolutely amazing. It is made up of many different systems that all work in harmony, allowing us to grow and learn and play. Out of all the systems in the body, the one that I found the most interesting and important is the nervous system. The nervous system is responsible for understanding and interacting with the world around us. The nervous system has two parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system contains of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain consists of three different parts, the cerebrum, consisting of the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the parietal lobe, and the occipital lobe, the cerebellum, and the brainstem, consisting of the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. The peripheral nervous system consists of nerves that connect the brain to the rest of the body. The brain consists of around 1 trillion nerve cells called neurons. The frontal lobe functions the judgment, foresight, smell, and controls voluntary movements. An area in the frontal lobe called the Broca's area controls the speaking and speech. The temporal lobe controls the intellectual and emotional functions. It also processes hearing, and an area called the Wernicke's area does speech comprehension. The parietal lobe also functions the speech comprehension. The occipital lobe is separated into two sides and is the primary visual area. The cerebellum controls coordination and helps fine-tune movement and balance. The brainstem consists of the pons, midbrain, medulla oblongata, and the spinal cord. These control the swallowing, breathing, heartbeat, wakefulness center, and many other involuntary functions. Then there's also two more areas of the brain called the sensory and motor cortex. The sensory cortex processes the sensations, while the motor cortex processes the movements. The central sulcus serves as a landmark. It helps identify and separate different parts of the cerebral cortex. It separates the frontal lobe from the parietal lobe and separates the sensory and motor cortex. The nervous system sends signals throughout the body and allows us to be aware of the world. The brain is a central command center. It stores information in brain nodes, which are brain cells, but it also takes in information through your nerves. There are two types of neurons, sensory and motor. Sensory neurons carry information to the central nervous system from the sensory motor organs. Motor neurons send information away from the central nervous system to the motor organs. One example of motor and sensory neurons is this example. When the finger touches something that is harmful, for example, something hot, the sensory organ sends a message through the sensory nerves. These sensory nerves run through the spinal cord to the brain, where the brain sends a message to a motor nerve to move the finger away. Then the motor nerve sends a message to the motor organ, which in this case is the muscle. The muscle moves the arm away, leading to the finger being moved before causing more pain. This all happens extremely quickly. Neurons can travel at about 50 meters per second, which is over 100 miles per hour, according to the University of Surrey Boat Club. The nervous system is the most important and most interesting system, in my opinion. Why do I believe it is the most important? It is because the brain controls the whole body. If we didn't have a nervous system, we wouldn't live, because the nervous system keeps the heart beating, yourself breathing, and also does your digestion. Jazakumullah.